Wake up with Stephanie.
Here we go down in the. I'm just gonna take one right off the top because I don't feel like digging around in there.
Oh, you got the candy stick. I'm not really a fan of this one, but that's all right. It's all right. It's okay. I don't know what color it is though.
No candy stick.
It's. I mean, it was cheap, so I think that's why. But it's really salty. Like, why is it so salty?
Oh, that's the salty one?
Yeah.
Well, if you're dehydrated or something, that'll help you out.
Which you kind of are today. Boom.
Wow.
I know. What does that mean, though, when people say you're salty? Isn't that like grumpy?
Yeah. Salty attitude, yes. Kind of like a PO'd attitude. Maybe not quite pissed off, just stomping mad, but like in that in-between zone.
So, yeah, you're kind of... anyways, we'll switch the subject really quick. This I thought was disgusting, which he thinks is not. How many people would go and eat that?
You have to ask.
Would you go and eat that?
Yes.
You would eat that?
Sure.
Why?
Well, first thing I see is the kiwi fruit, the greeny things, which I love. And whatever, it's food.
All right, this one is gross. But this one I thought was really cool. It says, when you only look at half the picture, don't claim to know the truth. So in the photo, you see a dog kind of pulling out a sheep, which looks like in the left side, he's attacking the sheep and eating it. But really on the right side, he's pulling it out of the water.
Oh, okay. Oh, the dog that's got the one by the neck.
Right, yeah. It's only half the photo.
Yes.
I love that. I thought that was really great.
Well,
that's
usually,
a good...
Yeah, usually if a dog's grabbing, or any animal's grabbing them by any other animal by the back of the neck, they're usually saving it, because that's most animals. That's why moms grab their babies, whatever animal babies, by the back of the neck, because they're anatomically designed for them, the moms, to pick them up by the back of the neck and not hurt them.
Are you done? And that's National Geographic's with Roy.
There you go.
You ready to go on Facebook now? I thought it was a good
Ned
thing.
Flanders Sheldon alert.
Oh, yeah, huh? Howdy, neighbor. I don't even know what he says. He says something. I'm not even going to try anymore. We're going on Facebook. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5 on Twitch, Facebook, and
on YouTube. Make sure you go and hit that like and subscribe button and share us all over to your world. And follow us on Twitch once I get us up on
I gotta figure that. I don't even know how to get on Twitch.
I don't either.
We gotta figure that out on the.
We'll figure it out one day.
Yeah, on the deal on that. See if we can build a Twitch audience on that. That's the newest platform. Who owns that? Google or
Amazon?
Amazon owns Twitch. They're going to control everything, which they're pretty much.
Who?
doing.
Amazon?
Oh,
they already do. They own the world.
Amazon, Facebook, Twitter. Google did that conglomerates, and it's weird because they did that. Like the 5 biggest capitalized companies on the stock market are now like tech companies, where 20 years ago or 30 years ago was General Motors. Kodak was in the top 5. Now they're I think they went bankrupt.
Kodak?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about Kodak in a while.
Yes, I mean that's You had Kodak and Polaroid cameras dominated the camera market, before the evil cell phone.
No, I think
out.
like Nikon and stuff like that kind of took over.
Well, in the higher end market, but I mean the average person basically had either a Polaroid or a Kodak camera.
They kind of brought Polaroids back.
You think?
They did, yeah. They came out with this little camera where it's like a mini Polaroid. It's really cute. Someone wants one for Christmas. If anyone's listening. Yeah, anyways.
Of that going on back and forth, lots of news coming on today. Jon Coupal of Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association will be with us later on that. But one of the things that I thought was pretty funny, well, maybe not necessarily, probably not
And
funny.
then I want to throw out my photos of the farmer's market because it's cute.
Oh, go ahead.
You can do that first.
Do that. Well, this is, it's kind of, I mean, I guess you shouldn't say funny, but it's kind of apropos.
I think we need to share things like this a little bit more because I think it was really great. And not a lot of places are doing this.
So give them an explanation.
At the farmer's market today, they had a Halloween costume contest, but each booth also had candy where kids can go and trick or treat too. So it was really, the kids loved it. And here's the winners. Bowser won third place. Ant-Man won second place. And then this little girl over here won first place. She's from Toy Story. I forget her name though. I think it's Sally. It was really cute.
Yes, it looks like
it was a lot of fun. The kids really enjoyed it.
That's probably the only fun they're going to have on this Halloween.
Pretty much. That's why I wanted to highlight it a
well,
little bit.
go.
And thank you to the farmers market for putting this on and all the local farmers because they all pitched in. The basket that they won was all things that each farmer sells. It was really cute.
Yes.
Totally appreciated it.
Of that. They got some healthy food then. Along with the candy.
Yeah. But, I mean, kids love candy. I ate most of it. No Butterfingers, though, man. I can't. Why doesn't people pass out Butterfingers more?
Is that your favorite or so?
That and Reese's.
Well, I'll go with the Reese's. That's
not a Butterfinger?
Anything with peanut butter in it is totally
What do you think
awesome.
a Butterfinger is?
Yeah, but it's kind of crunchy. Butterfingers aren't as good. I would rate Reese's much higher than a Butterfinger. That you get more peanut buttery taste, I think.
You're getting kicked out of the family.
You're
gone.
Well, to switch on that, I was going to do the one on Philadelphia and stuff like that, but flip up number 4. This was the headline in the Press Enterprise. Riverside County says skip trick or treating for Halloween in 2020 on that. And while they specifically didn't ban it per se on Halloween, this is Kim, I forgot her last name, but she's kind of one of the head health officials at Riverside County. This was her this is what the article's referring to. But I wanted to let you see the raw footage of this and the masked up BS stuff that we're going to get into here in a little bit on that of going on. But here she is at the raw footage of telling you not to go trick-or-treating. Here we go.
I just want to point out that we have looked at leading causes of death across the county and compared it to 2019. So in 2020, COVID is now our 3rd leading cause of death in the county, and it is our 2nd leading cause of death among the Latinx population, 3rd leading cause of death among the African American Black population, and 6th leading cause of death among our white population. So again, not necessarily surprising given what we know about the disease and who's being impacted by the disease. We also have looked at our 2019 data, so
and stuff. So
by looking at decorations, do online activities. I know that that's not going to be what everybody chooses to do. So I would just request that as people enjoy Halloween, they think about reducing possibility for transmission as much as possible. So limiting the big groups, using hand sanitizer, washing hands frequently, doing those things that are going to minimize the chance of exposure. So with that, I'll conclude my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, ding dong. Kids are not spreading this.
So I don't get what was her spiel about?
Not going into strongly discouraging any trick-or-treating or anybody or having any parties or bringing anybody into the house or doing anything. You're supposed to sit at home and it's Halloween and stare at each other. And probably with a mask on.
I wonder how many people are going to be doing it. I'm really curious to see how many people go out and trick-or-treat this year.
On top of that, they didn't. L.A. County had to walk back. They were going to ban trick-or-treating altogether, and then they had to walk it back, and then they came out like this with the strong recommendations and don't do this and blah, 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 blah.
But they're still allowing people to go. I mean, how are you going to stop people from trick-or-treating?
Right.
I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
And why are... Again, these are the people that say, "Oh, we're going by the science and the data and all the blah, 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 blah." There is no... Kids are not infinitesimal. And there has not been one death of somebody under the age of 18 that they didn't have a whole bunch of comorbidities, and I hope we never hear that word again, but a bunch of underlying health conditions.
What is what?
Means that you have more than one debilitating condition, like say maybe heart trouble or cancer, and comorbidities means more than one, which and they're very threatening, usually very threatening to your health, cutting your life expectancy. That's why they throw the morbidity thing in.
Okay.
But this is what.
But if people have that or any type of illness that they need to be worried about, they need to stay home.
If your kid has
My
cancer,
10, 9, 8, and 5-year-old
yes, if
needs
you
to go trick or treat like a little kid does.
Exactly. I mean, unless your 9-year-old is unfortunately has cancer and going through chemotherapy or something, which you probably wouldn't be trick or treating anyway. You'd probably be in the hospital or whatever.
Right. Or
But-
at home doing
doing
life the way you need to do
But
it.
that's a very, very, very infinitesimal percent of the population going on out there. So that's what I'm saying. If they're going by the science and the data, then why all this alarm bells of that other than they want to control you?
I have no idea.
We had said in Disneyland, all theme parks were, up until today, all the ones that Disney had, Orlando, Florida, France, China, and everything were opening up. There was an article in the Press Enterprise that says Disneyland installs
Hey.
2,300 coronavirus safety measures and da-da-da-da-da. Planning for the reopening of that when it comes of any. There is no deal. They are going to open up, the resort center or something for dining only, no rides or anything. They did get permission, I guess, to do that. Mind you, in Gavin's gulag, they got to get to the yellow to open at 25% capacity, and they're 2 tiers away from that. Notice there's no green in Gavin's gulag for opening up like it was. But this is the whole deal. France and Germany just announced that they are locking down completely almost the whole country because COVID is spreading again.
Why?
Because all you geniuses,
Thank you.
mask wearing, government control artists, we're all going to die. And they did it in Germany and France, and you said everybody in Sweden was going to die, and you said Trump's going to kill us all. We should do it like Joe Biden, who wants to lock down everything, who wants to be the plantation owner. We're going to go through a little statistics. And I would tell you, because they just closed Disneyland in France because of this.
But why?
Look at the chart, flip me up number 4. There's France.
Ho, ho, ho.
Thank you. See how back in April when everything was going and it's peaking and and it dives off and they did their mask wearing and all that, and then, look at all, and coming into April and May, and into June, look at the masks, they stopped this is why we have to do that, and it's going flat. September it's starting to crawl back up. October you're seeing the spikes come back. Here's the US of A saying we're even worse because France and Germany were more monolithic, and this is what this is what Biden has called for. Biden called for a monolithic shutting down of the whole United States, basically, that Trump should do that, blah, 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 blah. But, it was left, and per our Constitution mainly, it's left up to the governors in each individual state. So we had some that shut down, some that didn't. In South Dakota, you had the lockdown artist. In New York, in California, and everything in between. And you're seeing the bump spikes up, boom, 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 all across the board on that. Look at the charts. It's coming. It has never went away in the United States because we've had this, any of the stupid countries, stupid states, sans South Dakota and a few others. South Dakota, I think, is the only state that has never locked down or put any restrictions on. Some of them somewhere have done small amount. There's Germany. Same thing. You see April back down in June, kind of flattens out. Now it's coming back. Now here is Sweden. Sweden, where most of the experts said they're going to kill us all because Sweden is not locking down. They're not shutting down their economy. They're not closing their schools en masse and everything. They're doing a few measures to do that, but they're not mandating masks and anything. And look at that. Yeah, it jumped up just like everybody else did. Just like everybody else did on that. And you look at the deal as it's coming up on the deal. It goes up, then down, goes up in April, then it steadily declines down to July, and it's flatlined and never come back. And you go to the deal on that, and
I don't see where it's showing it coming back though. It's still flatlining.
Yes, it's done because they didn't do any grave measures.
No, on
they
the
didn't
other
shut
ones too.
But yeah, no. Let me show you the chart. Look at the chart of. There's the United States. It's boom,
yeah,
boom,
I
boom,
see
boom.
that one.
There you go.
Which I mean, is that true? Yeah.
There's France. Look at it flatline. Look at it come back up.
But it's flu season and stuff
there's
is going
Germany
around.
Done the same thing on that. You go back up and roll.
I don't believe it though. I think that we're hitting flu season now. People might have it in their system,
but they're shutting down their whole country again because of that. And no, I'm going to disagree with you. It's exactly right because they tried this whole mask deal. They've tried.
Agree with me.
They've tried, and I said this was going to happen. You try and suppress it, it's going to come back, and it's going to come back stronger, mutate into another one in this. Trying to do the mass thing and the whole thing, you're putting us on a yo-yo cycle this stuff is never going to end on this. And it goes back and forth on what was going on of that. And you see what has been happening with the whole deal on that. And here you go. There's proof positive that if you would have let it go and basically done very little, you'd have went through the crisis. It would have been over and done with. We wouldn't be talking about it like Sweden. But all you mask-wearing lovers that go back and forth, on top of this, da-da-da-da-da, now you're seeing the rebound effects all across where all this has happened. So it's on you. And Fauci on the deal today coming up and saying, hey, I'm what happened to our Skype guy?
I clicked it off.
Oh.
I didn't know what was going on. Want me to bring it back?
Yeah, just see if you can, I would see what he wanted. But when you go to that for doing that, it just goes to prove if you'd have left it alone and basically took care of the ones that were in danger, you would have been fine, just like Sweden. You're going to suffer this rebound yo-yo cycle where they're going to control you all across the board on that. I wanted to test the Skype because we had an update. Can you, let's see on that. Can you hear us, Dwayne?
Yeah, I got you.
Ah, got you on that. So what did you call in about?
Okay, so everybody is going into hysterics about how all of the beds are being filled and the
where?
Everywhere. Oh, it's a mess. Just listen to Fauci.
No, I'm asking.
Yeah,
I'm asking where, because Riverside County at our peak, when we were in the peak of this, were like 150 ICU beds. We're down to like 30, and we're locking down. Newsom just locked us down harder. That's a false narrative that beds are filling up and all this other stuff. But go ahead.
I completely agree. So let's look at the indicators. They have classified anything that results in upper respiratory as COVID. They have told us that testing has indicated an increase in positive tests. Well, if you test more, by definition, you are going to increase the positive tests. Now, here's something else. I personally know 3 people. 2 of them work in a hospital. 1 is a police officer, right? Sent in blank tests and came back hot, positive for COVID. The whole damn thing is designed for one thing, to gin up the hysteria so they can control the population, to try to, it's all about trying to
Did you see the charts that I just ran between Sweden, Germany?
It's all BS.
And yes, no, well, no, it's proving that it's BS, and it's proving what I and many others have said. You try and suppress this thing, it's going to come back. It's going to come back stronger or mutated like every other virus does. You're putting us on a yo-yo cycle by trying to contain a virus which nobody has ever been able to do, ever, in the history of the world.
So in addition to this, when you label anything from a broken toenail to a brain aneurysm as COVID, and then you give us false testing, and then do you notice how they've whipped up this hysteria that if you get COVID, you're suddenly going to be paws of the sky dead within 24 hours? Oh, it's the worst plague since recorded history. You know what? I don't know anyone personally that has even come down with it, and I certainly don't know anybody that's died from it. I am so sick of this. My governor in this state, we are getting together a rope. This guy's going to get lynched. He just put us back on the mask again and tightened.
Oops. I think I just... sorry about that. I hit the wrong button on that. I thought I was changing it over, but we lost Dwayne on that. But
and you're done.
Yes. No, but no, I hit the wrong button on the enchilada. But no, to get to his point on that, and this is what. Oh, here I think we got it. There we go. Yes, okay, are you back? Yeah, I hit the wrong button on you and bumped you off.
So you notice that. I was going to say, our governor, as we're getting the lynching rope ready, has put us back on the mask and limited gatherings and people. There's nobody dying. There's nobody even in hospitals here. We've had one they call it an outbreak when we have one individual that's tested for positive. Now, here's the thing. You notice how as soon as they get a positive test, it's lockdown city. Oh, the numbers are getting horrible. You know, when I used to employ people for another company, if we had random drug testing, and if somebody came in and had a hot test, the immediate thing we always did was send them back out for another test. Now, why is that not being done? We just automatically accept that, oh, you're positive, must be true. Go get another test. How about if it's
here?
Not
I want to do this because this is what it's all about. This is on CNBC, not Fox News or the vast right-wing conspiracy. Your gears up for more economic pain as Germany and France impose national lockdowns. As you said, and I think most of us agree, this is what it's about. They're going to strip you of your economic wealth of the vast majority of the people, not only the United States, but around the world. And then
you got it.
And then there are going to be a few warlords, slave owners, plantation owners across the world that are going to control this whole thing. And you're going to be lucky if you get a crumb.
Well, do you notice how they have demonized money? Don't touch the evil paper money. It's disease carrying. Take this new cryptocurrency where we will issue you credits. China's already done it. They've already got people with apps on their phones. They don't handle any money. They walk in with their smartphone and go click, and it pays. You remember what was it about 10 years ago? Was it? I can't remember. Was it Amazon that did it? Bought some grocery stores, and you didn't have any money exchange. You just walked in, picked up the items you want, walked out, and it automatically debited out of your account. Oh, that's so convenient. I'm going to tell you something. You let the government control what you have in your wallet, you are no longer free. You're nothing but a sanctioned slave, and you are going to work for the government for the rest of your life or until you are dead in the ground, period.
There you go. And now I'm going to officially bump you off because I got a couple other stories I got to get to before we get Jon Coupal on there. But we're going to have Jon Coupal of the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association on in a minute, so stay tuned for that.
Will do.
Bye, Dwayne. Thanks for calling in.
So here you go. And I wanted to get to the looters, the looters situation over here on that, because we all know that there was a shooting, police shooting in Philadelphia, and the rioting and the looting and all that's started. But they're busting into the Walmarts and stuff. But now the looters are shooting each other. And we're going to ask the question after we run this little clip. Why? So here's a little clip from Philadelphia 10 NBC on that of what was going on in Philly.
Looters will have a getaway car. They'll park it nearby, and they'll drag stolen goods into it. Earlier, massive crowds of people were taking advantage of the chaos. This is from the Walmart, where at least 1,000 people, according to police, were looting, dragging televisions and other big-ticket items into their cars. Police also say this was near the site of a double shooting, a 15-year-old girl and an 18-year-old man, both of them shot during the looting. Just spoke with another officer. He tells me they had at least 11 shootings in this district since last night.
Okay, Miss Stephanie. Why do you suppose 11 of the looters, including a 15-year-old girl and a 19-year-old barely a man, were shot in Philadelphia? Why do you suppose the looters were shooting looters?
I don't know.
I will tell you why.
Looters are shooting looters?
Yes.
Do you think it's because someone stole somebody's stuff?
We are getting close.
Well, they're all pissed off and angry anyways.
No.
Why?
No.
What?
This has nothing to do. And the man's relatives that were that was shot were saying, "Don't do that. You're not doing this in his name. You're actually dishonoring. Don't be stealing stuff from the store." But no, you were getting close. This is why, in my opinion, why looters were shooting looters out there. Oh.
Wait, when?
You're
was
carting
this?
out the big 65-inch TV. Oh,
You think
I want
that's
it. Kaboom! You're dead. I'm taking
up.
this TV. Why
Shut
else would they
up.
be shooting each other?
Well, I would think maybe like gang or something like that, not because over a damn TV.
The mentality.
Steven writes in a new game system.
The mentality of these jokers that are doing this in the Walmarts and across the board on this, that is the ghetto, trailer trash, or whatever mentality of these people. To go like that and to steal products from someone else that does not belong to you
Disgusting.
means you're a piece of trash.
Right.
And
but
you have,
they're not going to go and kill somebody over a TV.
Yes, they will. They don't
Really?
care about you. If they had any sort of conscience, they wouldn't be doing that.
That's
So
bad.
they will take your life over a
A
65-inch TV or whatever.
A game system, like
I want
Steven wrote
the
it?
yes, I want the whatever.
Xbox?
Yeah, Xbox, whatever.
Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, whatever the hot commodity. Oh, that's the last one? I ain't going to get one? Boom, you're dead. I got it. Ha, ha, ha.
Sure.
That's the mentality of your
There you go.
Black Lives Matters, your Joe Bidens, your Kamala Harrises, your Lorena Gonzaleses, and everybody else that's supporting them, because that's what they're all about. It's the drug dealer mentality. You got it, I want it, I'm going to take it from you. And they don't give a crap if they gotta steal it from you, or they gotta kill you, or whatever it is. That is the mentality. And that's the great divide we're seeing not only across the world. You want to be lied to about this mask and this whole flu thing? Watch this. We now have real world data in. Now let's go back to the tapes. And y'all that were out there, oh, you're going to kill us all. Oh, we got to wear masks. Oh.
Stop with that voice.
Data. No. We have data now.
You know what I heard today on the radio when I was driving? I think I was going to Stater Brothers really quick. About how masks, are your number one way to protect you from getting COVID. Mask. Not washing your hands.
Who in the hell
not
said this?
sanitize. It's a commercial, but I'm like, really? Mask is the number one way to protect and not
Remember
spread.
when they were not effective at all?
But they also said that coronavirus is airborne. Is it airborne now?
And
This week, is it?
exactly, and that makes masks almost useless. Why do you think? Why are healthcare workers getting them when they're masked up all the time? Why are 85% of the people got COVID were either wearing masks all the time or almost all of the time?
Why is it spiking if everybody's wearing a mask?
Exactly, because you're suppressing it. Again, let's go back on the tapes. I said this was going to happen, and it is. All you nattering, nabombs, and negativism, and obviously to me, you failed biology 101.
Hi, Sean.
And this is
Hi, guys. Hi, Stephanie.
This is why our dumbed down, idiotic education system that does not teach kids how the world works, this is how you get to conditions like looters shooting looters and them telling you that masks are going to stop a virus when they're not, and the whole enchilada. Are you
1 minute.
To stop being stupid?
Are you snapping?
Yes.
I'm about to pretend like I'm still in the 60-inch from you in a minute if you do that again, homie. Neon Love Machine writes in, gangs were excused to fill prisons.
There's
COVID is BS, and so's the mask order.
Because they're not. They should have been running fire bombs into those people. Tear gas, everything else. They should have arrested every one of them SOBs that were sitting in there. They should
30
not
seconds.
Be backing the cops
that
down.
poor store too that has to restock all of that merchandise if they even open again.
That's why prices are rising. You, the ultimate consumer, got to pay for that.
Bastards.
Yes. Exactly.
All right, guys, here we go. 10 seconds.
ClatchRoasting.com. Be sure to ask for the bold yet smooth Blue Desmond blend.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, affiliates.
The funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday at 5:30 on the Moderate, 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire, joining our audience on live video audience on Twitch, Facebook, and
on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and share us all over to your world.
There you go.
I messed that one up. And go on IG, Instagram, and like us there, or also go to KMET1490am.com where you can catch the stream there and the podcast that goes into the SoundCloud after the show.
Wow.
Yep.
No excuse for not watching the show.
Yeah, because we're everywhere.
Yes. We got you covered all on that, eh? We just got done talking about the looters that were shooting the looters in Philadelphia and how utterly disgusting, our population is becoming in the United States. The COVID lockdowns are starting back in Germany and France, and all you people that said, oh, we got to wear masks and Fauci and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? It's spiking there again. And it's been spiking back and forth in the United States of that, and they're talking about lockdowns. And if you want to follow the Biden deal of that, go right ahead. You're going to wind up shortening all of our lives. Because Sweden didn't do any of these draconian measures. They went up in April, as we showed on the statistics. You can go look at it. They have flattened out for the last 3 months and no spikes. You're not beating Mother Nature. Sorry. It's the way it is. So keep it up. Keep it up, you ding-dongs that are trying to kill us all prematurely.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Ding-dongs. How dare you?
Yes, and we also covered how Riverside County, while they're not outright banning Halloween, they're trying to shame you and not to doing trick-or-treating or gathering with your family or doing anything of, again, they want to take all the fun. You cancel fun. Fun was canceled in 2020. No more fun. If it's fun, if it's real, if you like to do it, we're getting rid of it. That's what 2020 is all about on the deal. is our phone. Yeah, you got to unplug the phone jack over there. That's what usually that brings a phone if the line's dead. Not on that end. Usually you got to do it at the other end of the spectrum on that. But no, we're having an absolutely ridiculous amount of time on all of this stuff on that. Yeah, hang on. Just roll the deal. I'll do it. Give them a little preview of what's going on. On whatever. Well, unmute yourself. Try it. See if it works on that. We're going to see if the phone line works. It's dead. It's still dead. We're having a little technical difficulties while we're working on. Where is it? Yes. Where is it? Where are you talking about? As we're working on our stuff over here on that, we're going to have Jon Coupal on here in a second. Hopefully, of going on the enchilada going on here of. Try it again. Getting anything? Nothing. That so. Here's I'm diagnosing that, but no, we've had all sorts of the looters. Yes, they're absolutely. Here you go. You're watching that as you're looking at the video going across. They're absolutely 100%.
Stephen writes in about how they're going to ruin Black Friday this year. Do you think they'll even have a Black Friday?
Of course not. They've already said that. Walmart and all the other stores are looking at it, and you're.
But do you think they're going to end up? And I'm not trying to be racist or cause any drama with this, but do you think they'll end up eventually changing the name of Black Friday?
Of course. Well, they're just going to eliminate that. Like I said, they're eliminating fun all across the board, going across, and that's what we get for allowing our politicians to absolutely hose us under the ground. Because each day we let this stuff, like you're seeing on the second night of looting on that, as you work at it on that, it just keeps getting worse. And just like that, we're seeing France and Germany closing down. You think that Disneyland is going to open up in Southern California in Anaheim? No way. It's positively not going to happen on this whole deal. And we're still working on the phone system here, seeing that is going that's going dead. But no, it's absolutely incredulous of what's going on in this whole thing, because we as a society are going to ultimately pay the price for this.
Now, to go back to the Disneyland discussion, what do they install to help open up the theme park? I'm trying to find the article. I think you closed it. Do you know what they installed?
What did they install?
I don't know. That's
hand sanitizers. That's what's going to save us all.
They spent that much money on hand sanitizers? I'm
Yes.
trying to pull up the article right now.
Of that. It's absolutely nuts of what they come up with, because when you do this stuff, they think that's going to save us. That's what's absolutely, as the France example does, that's what's going to kill us, is running these hand sanitizers and all this sort of stuff. That's what, mask wearing. Let's get back to life. What day are we going to do that? It's absolutely incredulous of what's going on this whole.
Okay, so Disneyland installs 23 1,000 coronavirus safety measures to prepare for reopening. Along with is that alongside with Downtown Disney?
Yes.
And the hotel. Well, I mean, if it's not just Disneyland solely, that makes
and
that
that's
makes,
what they said. They said they're only going to open up dining and anything else across the board. And again, you're not going to get anything going on of that. Disneyland, I'm going to say, what happens if Disneyland just decides to pull the plug on this thing?
They will. Edward wrote in and said Disneyland's going to shut down and leave.
I'm almost to the point of agreeing.
Stephen writes in, Disneyland also uses UV lights to sanitize its rides.
You think so?
I think I've heard of that before. I have a friend that worked there. She was one of them that I believe got laid off. And I think I remember her saying that she would have to do that. But do you think that 1,000 hand sanitizing stations for guests and employees, that's insane. And they put up signs as if you need a sign that COVID is going on.
I don't know. It's absolutely that. I don't know. Something went dead with our phones, so I don't know.
Well, let's switch.
Yes, I don't know if we'll have Jon Coupal on unless
you guys get Roy today.
Of that. And but no, it was absolutely that. But we were going to cover on that 2000 or Prop 15, which is the absolute game changer on this deal. If they start cracking Prop 15 on our on that, and they start cracking Prop 13, our property tax measure that has protected millions of homes in California. We've had the whole deal of that since 1978. They cannot reassess your property more than 1% of that, and once you're locked in, that's it. They were taxing people out of their homes by the droves in the 70s of that on their first tax raising run of Moonbeam Brown, and Howard Jarvis and Paul Gann got Prop 13 in there and got that capped, and we've had a stable revenue source all across the board on that from property taxes, and it's the only tax we're probably not in the top 5 of, but we're like in the top 15 or 20 of property taxes in our jurisdiction in all the states. So if they reassess properties in commercial and industrial, and they say they're going to do the rich man and all that, no, they're not. You're going to wind up paying that because it's going to rise the prices all across the board in there, and you, the consumer, are going to pay. And that's the bottom line on this stuff. Because when the rents go up, because that's what's going to happen to all commercial and industrial properties, some of the property taxes are going to go up 10, 20, even 50 times higher. And when you do this, you're going to see small businesses are already going out of business by the droves in California. This will drive them out when their rents are going up 20, 30, 40% if Prop 15 passes. It's absolutely imperative that you vote no on Prop 15. You are not taxing the rich man. You're not getting something for nothing. You're cutting your own throat by doing this. And election day is 5 days away, and it's coming up. We're down to the final stretch. I haven't seen some of the latest polling on this stuff, but if you haven't voted, make darn sure you're going to vote that you vote no on Proposition 15 on that. So you go back and forth all the time on this stuff, and it's just like a bombardment every day that we keep getting this stuff. You know, we went through the one on Prop 19 on this. It's very easy on this election cycle to go. You got no on 20. Vote yes on 20 and yes on 22. Yes on 20 fixes some of the bad parts of Prop 47, 57 that have let criminals out. That's the one you want to vote for. 22 allows Uber and Lyft drivers to go to remain independent contractors and not to be classified employees. That's another thing. You vote for 22, which is like running on the fence right now. You vote no on 22 and throw that out and make employees make all the Uber and Lyft drivers independent contractors. Lyft and Uber are going away. You're going to have nothing of that going on, and it's going to be a very interesting election cycle here in California, because I'm curious to see if we're going to pick up any congressional seats on that, because we're down to like 50. We have 53 congressional seats. We only have 8 Republican and I think 46 or 45 Democrats on that. And you go back and you run it, and it's almost like California's a lost cause. But maybe we'll turn that around. Maybe we'll pick up some seats in California and start turning this thing around and recall Gavin Newsom. I mean, we cannot wait 2 more years and suffer under Gavin's gulag, in my opinion. It's the absolute incredulous of what's going on. And what's even more interesting to me that we go on about this is, here we are. Why is still most people wearing masks out in public? When we went through all of the aforementioned stuff from Sweden and France and Germany locking down in the yo-yo cycles, and Sweden didn't, and they're over it, and no spikes coming up. What is tempting people to wear masks? Is it the fear that's being put out there by the fear mongers and the plantation owners and those that are trying to each and every day control us? It's absolutely nuts. I cannot fathom the mentality that it takes to go for that, to just ignore what's really happening out there. Because it's, in a way, to me, it's kind of sad that the population, especially in California, but even a lot of across the world, can be manipulated this much and buy into that, buy into the lie, and buy into, yeah, we're going to shorten your life expectancy all across the board on this thing. It's something that's absolutely astounding to me of how we do this on the mentions. Yeah, I don't think for some reason our phones just went deader than a doornail to that, so we probably will not have Jon Coupal on of that. Maybe we'll try and get him on tomorrow if he's available. But I really wanted him to explain to that and make that last push to make sure Prop 15 gets defeated. That's probably the number one thing on there of all of them. If we have nothing else, Prop 15 is the one, the big enchilada that you got to have. No, even you couldn't fix it, huh? And you're pretty good at that stuff.
But I did get the battery switched.
Okay.
That was epic.
That was part of it, but that still didn't get it.
Yeah.
I think the line's just dead coming in.
I think you need a new phone cord.
For that. Well, it could be.
I'm not sure. I'm tired now.
As we tried to do that, but it is. I mean, among some of the stuff that's going on, that, and from that, do you, and you didn't pay a lot of attention to this stuff before, but do you see now that if you raise taxes or you make properties, rental properties, commercial properties more expensive, that it's everything that you buy is going to go up?
Yeah, it's always been that way, though.
But most people don't equate to that they're paying that. If you raise the taxes, the property taxes on all these commercial industrial properties, and this goes to Amazon, all these ones that are
I don't
doing
like
that.
Amazon. I like to shop.
But they're delivering out of these big
Brick and mortar.
warehouses that are probably paying millions of dollars in property tax. If those buildings gets reassessed and that money goes up, guess what happens to the price of products at Amazon? They're going up.
Right.
You're not beating it through the internet deal or this, the big box, the online shopping and stuff.
See, but I think the online shopping, I think it's beneficial for a lot of people, especially those that can't go out. And I mean, especially during this time too with the shutdown. I mean, how many people I would hear all my friends and family saying that they've been on Amazon all day and they've been shopping like crazy.
And that is, you vote.
But do you think that online shopping raises taxes? Do you think it hurts?
Because all those buildings, all those big, humongous million-square-foot buildings that Amazon is either owning or leasing, if you raise the property tax on those buildings, they're going to pass that cost on to you.
Okay.
And that's where it's kind of like the nickel and dime effect on this stuff. You go back and forth, and it goes this and that. And you do this each and every day.
I'll email him right now.
Yeah, just tell them sorry we're not. Our phones are down. But you do that. All those costs, and it's going to kill small businesses. We talked about the triple N lease of that going on, and most people don't know that. You pay the insurance, you pay the maintenance of the building, and you pay the property taxes. You, the small business owner that leases the building. So those rents are going to go up. And small businesses, 78% of them rent or lease the properties that they're on. And none other bigger than the restaurant industry, which is already getting hosed on this whole deal back and forth. Most of them, a lot of them are still closing of that or barely hanging on. You deal them a big property tax increase and raise their rents, they're out of there. That's the final nail in the coffin, over this stuff. So you're gonna kill us 100% on this whole deal. You're gonna drive more businesses out of business. You're going to drive prices higher. You're going to take less competition, which is going to drive the prices even higher because the less choices you have, the higher, supply and demand. More choices, more availability, price goes down. Less choices, less availability, prices go up. So it's a very important that we do defeat Prop 15 on this election cycle in California.
Now, last election, we passed it. Did it go up?
No, we actually
didn't we pass? No, we didn't. And I remember
we didn't pass
had
the
Susan
$15 billion
happy.
school bond.
Yeah,
and we didn't pass the Measure A, the school bond for Riverside City College, and 7 of the 8 school bonds in California, or in Riverside and San Bernardino County, went down to defeat.
Right.
And that gave me a lot of hope. Or, I was thinking, well, maybe Californians are turning this around. and you can't lose that momentum of doing that. And just look at how many less, and I think there's a lot less in this election cycle. There's a lot less tax increases, school bond measures, and everything else in California on the docket, mainly because of a lot, I think, is because of COVID and that. But they did put on the ballot, and mostly from, I believe, and I think it's correct, teachers associations and that. But I wanted to get back to the other one that we talked about yesterday with Susan Shelley, Proposition 19. We went over the whole thing with David Wolf and Jim Brulte. But I've talked about this, and I think sometimes I'm the one voice out of 40 million in California that's done that. But Susan Shelley explained how if you pass Prop 19, the other one, how your taxes are going up. Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association does not support this. Anything else? I was listening to their commercial again today for the Yes on 19. And guess who is endorsing it? Police and firefighters.
Are you sure?
I'm going to say this again.
Why are they? But what do you mean they're endorsing it?
They're endorsing Yes on 19, which is another one that's going to raise your taxes.
But is it going to help them out?
No.
Then why would they endorse it? Okay, but can they lie and say somebody endorses it even if they don't?
I suppose they could, but that's highly illegal.
Because I think that
you would be getting into trouble.
But you put firefighters and police supporting some proposition. Anyone is going to see that. Well, not anyone, but people that don't pay attention to politics will see that and be like, oh, well, if they're for it, I'm going to be for it because I support them.
Exactly.
That's how they get you. Oh, I'm catching on.
You're getting
Damn it.
Ding, 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 ding.
But I don't.
Again.
This is too stressful.
I've open microphones.
Edward writes in, police and firefighters were against Prop 13 way back when.
Correct. This is why I've been saying this. And microphones are open. You can come in studio and defend this. Because you know, before even you rank and file that said you didn't know, now you know. Your representatives are putting your name out there for the con, for the deception.
Are you sure?
I've sat in the meetings where they've discussed this. This is how we're going to pass X tax increase, this that the people won't go for, but if we sugarcoat it like this and say, your police are not going to show up, your houses are going to burn, your parks are going to close, your schools are going to be locked up, you can't get in. Oh, we can't have that. Please don't do that to us. How do you think they're controlling us over this COVID thing? They've been setting us up with this stuff long before. And again, teachers' unions, teachers, police, firefighters have been corrupted. As Edward said, they were against Prop 13 back in 78. And if you were for that, you imagine the millions of homes it has saved of people not getting kicked out, especially the elderly when they're on a fixed income and that, and then they were jacking their property taxes back up in the 70s, Moonbeam Brown, and they had to sell out because they couldn't pay the property tax bill, even though they owned the house free and clear. So it's not a new phenomenon, but it's time we deal with the reality of the situation. You have all of you, anyone that's part of a public employees union, you have the Supreme Court made the Janus decision a couple of years ago. You do not have to. You can opt out of sending your union the money that they use to do this. And if you don't, you're complicit. You are agreeing with what they are saying. And that's the bottom line on this stuff.
I think you're right. I was trying to look it up to see. You're right.
It's a sad truth, but we gotta admit it and we gotta deal with it. And as we do, and we will deal with it tomorrow on a Fast Friday. Until that, we're gone.